Hey everyone, and welcome to a special jam-packed edition of Start Select. Now we're really ramping up to the Christmas season. I've been taking time out just playing a Little Big Planet, but we've been also going around and covering off some pretty cool interviews. First of all, Luke Anderson's going to be talking to Mike Capps from Epic Games, who's going to be talking about one of my favourite upcoming titles, Gears of War 2. And then Ash Denton, our video producer, has put together a special package on Far Cry 2, where he talks about the different games in the series and also first-person shooters in general. But first of all, let's hand it over to Luke Anderson, who's going to be talking to Mike Capps. So take it away.
I have a rendezvous with death. And I, to my pledged word, am true. I shall not fail that rendezvous.
Cool, so I'm down here in central London at a Gears of War 2 event with Mike Capps, the president of Epic. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Hey, no problem.
Cool, so Gears of War's just around the corner. What can fans of the series expect from it?
Oh man, I can't wait till everybody can get their hands on it. I'm really excited. You know, it's everything we said we could do with Gears of 1, but more. You know, it's a bigger game. We've taught a lot more deeper story. The multiplayer kind of pushed it all over the top a bit. I don't know. I mean, it's Gears, but it's more badass. Right?
It's always a good thing.
Yeah. You know, Horde was a big surprise. It's the multiplayer mode where it's 5-way co-op and you're just fighting waves of the Locust Horde coming. And that's kind of the promise of the Locust Horde, this big army that's just coming in waves. And you know, we were up playing last night. All the journos had gone to bed and we're still in there playing, you know? So, and then just story-wise, you know, Epic hasn't really been known as a studio that can make a really deep story. And then with Gears, we kind of proved we could do something cool, and we've really pushed that. You know, cinematics-wise, there's a love story buried in there. I'm hoping our fans are going to dig it.
What do you think is going to be the focus for this one? Do you think most people are going to be talking about the single player, or do you think they're going to be talking about the multiplayer more?
Well, you know, I mean, the multiplayer fans are the harder core fans, so you hear from them more, but more people played single player than played multiplayer in Gears 1. I think it'll probably be the same. There's a lot of people who are scared to go online for whatever reason, or don't have Xbox Live. They'll just play through the story and enjoy it. And then we'll have, you know, hopefully 500,000-600,000 people every day who just get into it and can't let go.
Cool, cool. So Gears of War 2 runs on a highly modified version of the Unreal Tournament 3 engine. How important is that to Gears of War and to, I guess, Epic?
Well, I mean, you know, the engine, we've got hundreds of teams who are using our tech, and it really keeps us honest, making an engine that's very flexible and easy to use, well documented, stuff like that that developers often skip on. But when we have so many other people using it, we focus on workflow and tools a lot. You know, it's the same Xbox it was 2 years ago, but we know the box better, and being able to focus on one platform lets us really push it. So I think you'll see the difference with Gears of War 2. It's maybe 20-30% more poly complexity. It looks much better.
Do you kind of see Gears as a bit of a showcase for the engine as well, like for other developers that might be looking to use it?
Oh yeah, I mean, this is our proud moment of, you know, our best artists working with our best programmers, showing off our sexy stuff, and we love laying that out there as the bar. Is like, let's see what you can do with our tech.
Cool. The co-op mode's got individual difficulty settings. Can you kind of explain the technology behind that, how it works?
Oh, sure. You know, I'm so happy about first of all, in co-op, we've got drop in, drop out, which is great. So anytime you need a hand, you call someone in, they join you for a bit over live and then hop back out. So you don't have to stop your campaign and go invite them and that. But the big thing is, you know, I play with my fiance, and she's a Nintendo player, right? So when she comes to Gears, she'd sit behind me and wait for me to die, and then rush up and heal me and feel really important and rush back and hide again, which is fun for a little while. But when we switch and I'm playing on hardcore and she's on casual, you know, she's got double the health, she's doing triple the damage or something like that. So she's taking down Locust just like I am. We're both having fun, we both feel engaged. And you know, once you get that where she feels like she's having just as much fun as I am, that was a real win.
Cool. Do you think this is something that is going to kind of be commonplace in shooters in the future?
I really hope so. I mean, you know, co-op in Gears, we designed it from the beginning with 2 characters in every cinematic. You know, it's you together, Dom and Marcus saving the world, right? And we had a lot of people replay it on co-op. A lot of people would bring a friend in, play co-op, then they go buy the game, they play on multiplayer. I mean, it's a huge sales opportunity for us. So yeah, we're not going to stop.
A lot of people will probably be comparing it to kind of the Halo 3 of this year. How do you kind of feel about those kind of comparisons and kind of, I guess, the pressure for this being, you know, one of the key titles for 360?
That's a pretty big company right there. I mean, Halo 3 was a fantastic game that did really well. You know, I'd love to have the kind of success they've had, but we're a different game, you know? I mean, we joke that, you know, guys who play Gears beat up people who play Halo, you know? I mean, it's a different sort of environment, so I don't know, we're all friends, right? Call of Duty 4, awesome game, I play it all the time, I love it. You know, we all get along, we all want to make better games and kind of keep one upping each other.
Yeah, cool. So there's a space of both of those kind of
Yeah,
universes.
yeah, exactly. Somewhere in there.
Yeah, awesome. Are we ever going to see Gears of War 2 on PC?
No,
Okay, never.
never. Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
all right, cool. So tell us a bit about the flashback map pack and also the gold-plated gun that you're offering.
Yeah, cool. So Flashback is 5 of the original Gears 1 maps. Some of the ones that we like the most, but it's sort of an extra gift to fans, not something where we're inflating our map counts or something by doing a lot of remakes. That makes sense. So when we sell the game, it includes a download code for this. So on day 1, you can get an extra 5 maps. And then the gold code is the special edition version. And I think we're doing a few Midnight Madness events on launch day where you can pick that up. And it's Flash, it really is. You can spot that thing. It's a little crazy walking around with a gold gun. I'm not sure if I'd do it all the time. Yeah, exactly, but it's pretty Flash.
So you're the president of one of the kind of most loved games development studios around. What's kind of a day in the life of Mike Capps like?
Well, it's a bit of juggling, and we've got our external teams now. We've got the Poland team working on a game for EA, and then we've got our team out in Utah is working. So mostly I settle arguments. When Cliff and Rod are arguing about features on Gears, I'm sort of the guy who steps in if they can't get along. But they've been doing it for so long now, making 2 games, they kind of know what the programmer's going to let them get away with, Ray, the lead programmer, what the lead artist, Chris, is going to let them get away with, that kind of stuff. So I manage people, worry about engine features, keep licensees happy, do stuff like this. It's different every day. It's pretty cool.
Cool, so that sounds like a pretty cool lifestyle to have.
Yeah, I get to work with our comic artists, and I just met our novelist on Sunday, and so I manage a lot of our external properties. It's fun, yeah.
Cool, no worries. Now, I believe you've brought something with us as a special gift for our podcast listeners.
Yeah,
GameSpot
exactly.
UK. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Sure. Well, so this is a really cool cog tag, and I'm only going to show you the front because the back's got a special code that you can use online. Here, I'll cover that up there. This is actually what we're using for our team as sort of a congratulations, you've shipped the game award, and we decided to make a few more. So I think we're giving one away to your viewers. How are we doing that exactly?
Well, basically, just give us a question, something that's a little bit quirky, might be a little bit hard for some people to track down, but obviously something of that kind of level, we're gonna want them to have to kind of work for it. So,
all right.
What's something you can trick our users with?
Okay, so how about who was the artist on Epic's first game, ZZT?
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. All right.
So how these obviously limited edition? How many?
Oh, I don't know. It was maybe 100 or 2, and that's with 100 going to the Epic guys. But there's a special code on the back that you can take to the GearsOfWar.com website and unlock special content, that kind of thing.
Cool.
So I hear they're being hidden all over the world, and then of course you guys got one.
So what's next for Epic after this ships?
Sleep, man. We're going to have a big party and be glad we shipped it, and we're going to get some sleep. And we're all going to go online, right? There's this really fun time between the day we ship, November 7th, and say November 10th, where I can own everyone online. And then after that, there's going to be incoming mortar shots that just kill me all the time. And so I'm going to enjoy it while I can, while I'm still the pro.
Is there an achievement point to if you cap a developer?
I don't think we've got anything like that.
Okay, right. Trust me, I did it. I killed Mike Capps. Believe me.
Yeah, no, it won't be hard.
Cool. Okay, thanks a lot for your time.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Alright, so that was Mike Capps for Epic Games and the upcoming Gears of War 2, which is out at the beginning of November. Now remember, if you want to enter that competition, get your entries into competitions@gamespot.co.uk before October the 27th. Remember to include your name and address, and we'll draw the entries on the next show. Now for the fans of Far Cry 2, which is out ahead of Gears of War 2, here's Ash Denton with a short history of the series.
FPS gaming has evolved from monotonous mass killing of enemies into monotonous mass killing of enemies with a gripping storyline containing moral and emotional investment.
A man had a vision of a city at the bottom of the sea.
Seems like it's come a long way in 16 years. Beginning with the classic Wolfenstein 3D and Doom series, the FPS snowballed into one of the greatest genres in gaming history. Some of our personal favorites include Duke Nukem 3D, possibly the manliest FPS around.
You wanna dance? Shake it, baby.
Gordon Freeman in the flesh.
The Half-Life series for emotionally connecting us to the main character.
Welcome to the HEV Mark IV.
And its sequel for the Gravity Gun.
Let's just say your hour has come again.
We could go on forever about the FPS and how it shaped our pubescent lives, but we're here to talk about the Far Cry series and ask the question, did the series change the genre? And has it really added any value to FPS gaming? Or is it just another pretty shooter clone? The developers of the first Far Cry are called Crytek, and they certainly had their fair share of both crying and tech in making the game. The company was founded by three brothers in Germany who created the Cry engine, the technology used to power the game. It allowed a massive, seamless, open-world jungle area with no loading times between different stages or levels, making it pretty much the first sandbox FPS. The AI was a drastic improvement on many of its rivals. The sound design was top-notch, and the visuals set a new benchmark in gaming graphics. And seeing as Half-Life 2 was released earlier that same year, that's quite an achievement.
You never know who's listening.
Far Cry gathered critical acclaim, earning a 9.2 on GameSpot, but it was not without its faults. Many people complained that the system specs needed to run the game were too high. This was mostly due to the revolutionary Cry engine, which used polybump, a way of rendering textures to make them appear bumpy using polygons instead of a flat texture. Ubisoft, the publisher of Far Cry, went on to release a number of Xbox and Wii console ports of the game, adding a few new features for console users. Here, we can see the new feral abilities available in Far Cry Instinct's Predator. Pretty cool, but it didn't have the same impact as the PC original. After Far Cry, Crytek signed up with EA to make Crysis. It proved once again that you need a kick-ass PC to play their games, and the fact that they are completely unable to make something without the word cry in it. This time, Crytek kept the same tropical island setting, but changed the main character, and then set the story in the year 2020, trading genetically modified monsters for aliens, and opting for more futuristic powers. The nanosuit allowed you to become faster, stronger, bulletproof, and even gave you the ability to cloak yourself, just like the Predator, but with fewer dreadlocks. Ubisoft, meanwhile, was ploughing on with the sequel to Far Cry. We got our first look at the game just over a year ago when we flew out to Canada to visit the Ubisoft Montreal studios. And from that first visit, we were hooked. It seemed like they'd listened to the numerous gamers that were disappointed by the processor-intensive Crysis, and they seemed to be listening to the console market who were crying out to get the next-gen game on their 360s and PS3s. Far Cry 2 promised to not only better the original in terms of visual style and environmental capabilities, but would run on lower-spec machines and be released simultaneously on consoles. The Far Cry future was very bright indeed. The tropical island setting and sci-fi overtones are gone, and Jack Carver has been replaced with 9 different mercenary characters to choose from, each with a unique and intriguing backstory. The game runs on the Dunia engine, a completely re-engineered version of the Cry engine. In fact, only 2 to 3% of the original Cry engine code remain. And from what we've seen so far, the game is as pretty as any game we've seen on a console. The original Far Cry's multiplayer didn't really catch on, so the development team has taken their time to make sure that Far Cry 2 has life after the single-player campaign.
In the first original Far Cry, there was the assault mode, and we know like some hardcore were really all about that mode, and we thought that it was not maybe meeting the purpose of an easy map editor accessible for everybody. So we say, okay, what's good in that mode and what we can bring into it, or how we can bring a new mode that is a bit different, and it's still maybe the cousin. So I think like Uprising could be called the cousin of the original assault mode from the first Far Cry.
Raid their base and steal their diamonds. Kill anyone who tries to stop you. But I warn you, do not let them steal my own diamonds.
We wanted to go with fairly simple game modes to make sure the map creators around the world can easily make maps for those. Because we can have like come with a complex game mode, but then nobody can create cool maps for it, and it would be like useless. So we wanted to focus on like simple, good mechanics that everybody can understand, and I think we'll have a much better like a map package for that.
The built-in map editor seems vastly superior to the original, and from what we've seen, there are infinite possibilities for user-generated maps. Given the power of these tools, the maps don't need to be limited by the African savanna. The sky literally is the limit. Far Cry 2 is available on October 24th, and if you simply can't wait and are hungry for more, check out our exclusive in-depth interviews and gameplay footage on GameSpot now.
So I hope you enjoy the show. The next show will be out on October the 31st, so we'll see you then.